Hello and welcome to our YouTube channel, Andy and Katie's Allotment. I'm Andy, as you know, and this is the January allotment tour. So just as usual, we'll start with the compost and take you around the plot. So this is the two compost heaps. You'll notice a big difference in that I've completely emptied the one on the left, because the one on the right, I've emptied the one on the right because the one on the left was looking quite dry and it wasn't really decaying that quickly. So what I've done is I've moved all the material from the right back into the left. Before I did that, I did fork over the surface of the first one, which is when I noticed it was quite dry. So now I've got one heap that really I've turned. It's not obligatory to turn compost apparently, but it does help. So what I'm going to do really is start again on the one on the right, because right at the bottom, I'll show you, the compost, it's quite nice. You know, it's got quite a nice consistency, it's got a nice moisture level. So there's probably about, I don't know, 5-10 centimetres of compost left in there, and I'm going to leave that and make it the base for the next lot, because I think now hoping, I mean, you can see I've got the thermometer in there. You know, it's only showing less than 10 degrees, so there's no heat in there whatsoever. I know you can make compost without heat, but it just takes that much longer. So we'll see what happens. So I think there was a number of issues with that. I think the main issue was the fact that I didn't chop some of the more woody material up small enough to give it a bigger surface area for the microbes to get to. But I think maybe the mixture was wrong, or the ratio of brown to green was maybe not quite right. But anyway, we'll hopefully get some lovely compost. I'm just going to leave that, I think, now for a good few months, maybe 6 months, 8 months. Just leave that as it is, and use, as I say, the other bay, and then turn it when that one gets ready into that bay that I've got there covered in plastic. So this is the view down the allotment. Say it's the 10th of January today, so things are still quite cold and dormant. But what I've done, the eagle-eyed of those among you will have seen that I've made another 2 beds in the middle there. Smallest one nearest the camera, and then a long, I don't know, probably 4.5 metre bed in the middle there. So I just felt that I was wasting some growing space with the really wide path right down the middle of the allotment. So I've decided that as long as I can get a lawnmower either side to keep the grass down when it starts to grow, then I'll make another couple of beds. So that's what I've done. So this end of the allotment now is looking really good and really full. As far as beds are concerned, obviously there's no plants yet, so it's not full in that sense, but it's starting to look like a proper allotment, I think, now, after a lot of hard work. There's a few tons of compost and manure and hard graft gone into that, but I think I'm feeling that it's all been worth it. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Since the last video, you can see now the spring bulb bed has sprung into life, and loads of daffodils started to push up, which is good, and I think they're going to give a really nice display in another, don't know, couple of months, something like that, probably March time. Yeah, there's loads in there, and then there's probably a similar amount of tulips that will, you know, obviously come a month or so after that. So yeah, that's looking good. So this is the brown onion sets that I planted back in October last year now. Really starting to come along. Some of them are getting nice and big already. There's some that are just starting to poke their heads through the soil. So I'm probably going to get a good, well, hopefully going to get a good crop from those. Here we have the red onion sets, and to the right of the screen there is the garlic, which is still chugging away. But the red onion sets, they seem to have started. I was a bit worried about those last time we spoke, and they seem to be now just starting to poke their heads up, and there's a good number there of little green sprouts coming out of the sets. So I'm happy that we're going to get some good harvest from there. So you can still see as well that the visitor there that's started to emerge is the rhubarb, which, as I say, I'm going to leave because I like it. I don't particularly like rhubarb, but I'm happy to grow it. I'm happy to grow it for the rest of the family. So yeah, and there's the garlic, which is doing quite nicely. Like I said before, I'm not sure that anything's going to happen in this side of the garlic bit. There's the odd one that are just starting to be come through, but it is really just the odd one. So yeah, not going to hold out much hope for that. Okay, this is the bed that I'm going to do my main crop potatoes in. I've dug the trenches just to, for no particular reason, just to see, what the soil was like more than anything. So I've dug 2 trenches there that I'm going to put the tubers in. But we have had a lot of rain over the past sort of 4 to 6 weeks, really. A lot of wind and a lot of rain, and this last week was absolutely full to the brim with water. So again, like we said last time, it's the way that the difference between just putting the compost mulch on the top makes it drain that much better than just normal soil. So I think what I'm going to do when I do plant the potatoes in sort of April time, late March, well, these will be April, is I will cover the potatoes in some compost, and then put them in as time goes on. As they start to sprout, I will earth them up with the soil that I dug out of the trench. So I'll just show you how wet it is inside those trenches. Yeah, it's not good, and that's going to have to obviously drain a lot more before I put anything in there, because if I put potatoes in there, they'll just rot, I would have thought. So yeah, that's how the difference between dig and no dig, I think, shown quite starkly. Okay, so this is something else that I've really had a look at, is these 2 apple trees. Those of you who've seen the channel before will know that these were quite big trees. If you look at the trunk, You can see that I think they're quite old trees, and some people have said, well, you're better off, you know, getting rid of them and putting some newer ones in. But I don't want to do that. I want to see if I can get these a bit more managed and a bit more under control. So I've given them a good prune. I say some people watching this might think I've been a bit harsh with the pruning, but I've tried to get them, as I say, so that they're, instead of one big canopy going into each other, I've made it so that they are two distinctly different trees, because they are different varieties of apple. So but I think to get the light levels right through going through the branches and the airflow, I've given them a good prune. I mean, there are, you know, if I go a bit closer, you can see that there are sprouts on the little, you know, the small branches there, so little buds that have already started to emerge, and then I've sort of left one big long branch going up the top there, so that it's still, you know, got that tree shape. Whereas I think on this one, I did this one first, and I think maybe I've gone a bit too far with this one, so I might not get much this year off that one, because, as I say, I have really cut this one down, partly because there's the path at the side there, going towards those that oil drum, that, as I say, is quite was quite overgrown by the apple tree and then the brambles to the left there. But I've tried to make that a bit more accessible. So yeah, big changes with the apple trees. So not much has changed at this end of the allotment. I've not done a lot to it. I've just done a bit of clearing in that section there. Just moved the cardboard because it wasn't really doing anything, so I'm supposed to call it clearing isn't quite right, but I've just moved the cardboard, and I've moved some cardboard from there as well, because I could use it more productively in the new beds that I've just done down further down the allotment. So that's the end of the tour, really. What I have done, I've done a video on all the seeds that I've got. I took a delivery from King Seeds. I've also got some other seeds from different sources. I got a seed subscription from a company called Flourishy, which is a small business that just do a seed subscription, so you get 4 lots every year, over the year rather, and they send you well, winter was 4 packets of seeds I got, so some broad beans and some peas and things that you'll plant straight away when the planting time comes in February. So I've done a separate video on all my seeds, so you can catch that on Andy and Katie's allotment. As I say, it's coming up to the February time now, or it will be doing in another month or so, and that will be the time when I'll start to do some more seed, I'll do some seed videos, some seed sowing videos. So yeah, keep with us, tell your friends, follow us on YouTube, that's Andy and Katie's allotment, and subscribe to the channel, and you'll get regular updates of when I do all the different videos, and follow us in our first year and see where we go, right from the sowing of the seeds right up to the hopefully successful harvest, first lot in summer. So I'll leave it there, and happy gardening.